While working in Hollywood is a dream for most people, the people who work in Hollywood have made public that there are some actors who steer the dream more in the direction of a nightmare. Join us as we take a look at 10 of the worst actors to work with. Want to know which of your favorite actors are actually nightmares to work alongside of? Then keep on watching. First, let's talk about Bruce Willis's disastrous inclusion in Cop Out. Bruce Willis is one of the most known actors around, and he's beloved by many around the world for his action status, which he's acquired from appearing in movies like the Die Hard franchise. One of those people who adored and idolized Willis was the icon of the indie movie world, Kevin Smith. Smith wrote in his 2012 self-help memoir that when he first heard he was getting to work with Willis, he was ecstatic, but very quickly into the movie, his opinion on working with the actor changed drastically. Willis made everybody work around his schedule and would often refuse to shoot scenes he didn't think would work. Smith said that the things Willis put him through in the movie enraged him so badly that he went into his trailer and punched holes into the bathroom walls. Next, let's discuss the hell Chevy Chase reigned on the set of Community. Chevy Chase was a comedic star in the early years of the National Lampoon. Younger people may have seen his type of humor in the Netflix movie A Futile and Stupid Gesture, where he was portrayed by Joel McHale. A few years prior, Joel McHale had detailed his experience working with Chevy Chase in his book Thanks for the Money. In the book, he discussed an event where Chevy Chase had called Joel McHale frivolous names for not actually hitting him in a scene. In the next take, McHale hit the actor like he demanded and sent him to the hospital. Chevy acting tougher than he was is nothing compared to the things he said to other cast members. On multiple occasions, Yvette Nicole Brown and Donald Glover said that Chase had called them racial slurs, which he found funny. Now, let's talk about another actor who was banned from Saturday Night Live, Steven Seagal. After Chevy Chase, Steven Seagal is the second actor on this list to have been banned from Saturday Night Live, and for good reason. One of the people working on the show when Seagal hosted was Tim Meadows, who detailed the events of Seagal's hosting. He said that the problem working with Seagal was that he did not understand any of the jokes and always complained about them, going as far as to criticize the joke writers. David Spade said that it was so bad that it was the first time that Saturday Night Live had ever considered ditching the host and just doing a cast-only show. Julia Sweeney said that Seagal pitched some ideas for sketches that were so horrible the cast thought that they were being pranked, including one where a therapist tries to seduce a client. Moving on, let's talk about Mike Myers. Despite playing goofy characters that many people grew up with, like Shrek or Austin Powers, Mike Myers has a history of being difficult to work with on the sets of movies. Those who have actually worked with Myers described him as being moody, as well as being a control freak. One word has floated around Hollywood studios when it comes to Mike Myers, and that word is egomaniac. Many of the people who have worked with him said that while he may be a comedic genius, he often lets that get to his head and cause him to act erratically. One of the most known examples of this is when on the set of one of Myers' biggest roles, Austin Powers. An actor on the set said that during the shooting, he was fired for making eye contact with him. Now, let's discuss our former Hulk, Edward Norton. The problem with many of the actors on this list is that the more they get cast in big roles and make more money, the more they become unhinged and start to see themselves as better than everyone around them. They begin to have egos as big as their paychecks. This was the problem with Edward Norton, who has been known by many to be a shadow director, which means that despite the director being there to direct, he'll take it upon himself to tell them how to do it. It got so bad during the days of American History X, he ended up in the editing room where he cut the final version of the film. It was said that Norton cut the final version because he did not trust director Tony Kaye to do a decent job. Now, let's talk about how Kanye West made things difficult on the set of Anchorman 2. This is one that is both surprising and not surprising. It's surprising that Kanye West was difficult to work with in the one movie he appears in. It isn't surprising that he made things difficult, as anybody with a social media presence could tell you. He does it quite often. West was not a major star in the film. He only had a quick cameo in a scene that was less than 10 minutes. If you think holding up production for a 10-minute scene is bad, consider the fact that the amount of time West was actually on screen is less than half of a minute. His complaint was about what he claimed to be a lack of detail in his outfit. The whole fiasco ended up lasting 2 hours, ending with him saying that the jacket is fine. The next actor we'll talk about is William Shatner. William Shatner has made a name for himself since he appeared as Captain Kirk in the original Star Trek series. On the set of the show, he made a name for himself as well, but it was not a name that you'd want to be called. Many people on the set of the show have spoken publicly about how much they disliked working with William Shatner. Shatner was so hard to work with back then that to this day, George Takei still has it out for Shatner. Takei has said that all of the people on the set of the show got along except for Shatner. He described working with Shatner as William Shatner versus the rest of the world. Shatner was also known for being a jealous person who disliked other characters getting adoration, especially any adoration towards Spock. Next, we're going to talk about what it was like working with Charlie Sheen on 2.5 Men. Charlie Sheen is another celebrity who's known for making things extremely difficult, mostly for himself, but for other actors as well. One of Sheen's biggest roles is playing the role of Charlie Harper on the hit sitcom 2.5 Men. Despite his co-star on the series, John Cryer, saying some flattering things about him, Sheen had gone downhill towards the end of the show. He'd gone so downhill that he'd found himself fired from the show for comments he made about Chuck Lorre, who was the creator of the series. Another big reason for his termination from the show was his heavy drug problem. Cryer attributed the drug problem to his divorce from actress Denise Richards, saying that at first he was attempting to handle it and doing all right, but over time it had gotten too much for him. Moving along, we're going to talk about Barbra Streisand. Barbra Streisand is a very known actress. She's been in many movies and released very many albums. Many people know of her rise to fame, but they do not know the things she did when she got the fame. When she's not making horrible comments about the Michael Jackson allegations or allegedly shaming assault victims, she is making work a living hell for people who appear in movies with her. For instance, it's even been said by people who have claimed to work with her that there was even once a time when she denied the cast the right to work with her. She also clashed with the director on the set of the film A Star is Born, where she demanded the right to cut whatever she wanted and even allegedly cut all the scenes where Chris Christopherson outshined her. Finally, let's talk about Bill Murray. While most people know Bill Murray as the incredible and beloved funny man, the people who have actually had to work with him know that to be nothing more than an act. Bill Murray has been accused of horrible behavior towards people on set multiple times. Bill Murray has been accused of hurling an ashtray at Richard Dreyfuss, as well as even causing an entire film set to be shut down after he did something inappropriate to one of his co-stars. When he was attempting to save his name, he said it was just a joke taken the wrong way. He was also called out by people on the set of Charlie's Angels, including Lucy Liu, who said that he was incredibly cruel to her on the set of the movie, saying that he had said things that were in no way acceptable. There are many actors who are horrible to work with, but this does not mean that they are bad people. While some of them are, some directors and co-stars have vouched for the actors listed. Which actors have you heard were not easy to work with? Let us know below.